I don't even know why I'm breathing heavily. Like, I feel that's how I start these videos. Week in, week out. It's always a deep breath or me looking vexed. Now, there's a lot of people that I speak to in general, sorry, and they constantly tell me, Jake, don't worry about it. You're Tottenham. You ain't going to get relegated. You ain't going down. You ain't got to worry. Stop being so overreactive. I get told that by people in my own fan base. Stop being reactive. Those people that I spoke to, you know who you are. Feel free to comment in the comment section. Like, share it out as well. And take accountability on the fact that you know that I was right. I was talking to my cousin just before the game, and we both agreed that if Tottenham don't win this game, it's game over. I'm not going to sit there on Monday night and sit there hoping for Crystal Palace to get a result. As much as I can't stand West Ham, I look at them and think, well, if they go and win that game, fair play to them. They've done what they're supposed to do. Everyone was talking about West Ham. December, January, they're gone. Nothing can be turned around. But they've been turned around by a manager that we thought was dead. Nuno's going to have the last laugh. West Ham going to have the last laugh. Leeds won today. Comfortably. They're going to have the last laugh. Leeds beat Wolves comfortably. Me and my son are going to his first game. And it's round the corner, Wolves Tottenham. Are we going to beat Wolves comfortably? Everybody will sit there and say, oh, Tottenham played well. This. And I'll give credit where it's due. We did play well. That was the best first half I've seen in a long time. Did we win the first half? No. That was probably one of the best second halves I've seen. Did we win that? No. I went absolutely bonkers with the boy today, with Xavi Simons scoring an absolute worldie. But this is a club, this is a group of managers that thought Xavi Simons ain't good enough. How is it that Xavi Simons smacked up Atletico Madrid on his own, and then since then we ain't seen him? And then when we see him again, he smacks up Brighton. We didn't get a result, but how has three managers not seen this guy and what he's about? How is it that I know what he's about? I can see what he's trying to do. I can see he's the only player that we've got in our squad that's creative apart from Maddison. But managers that are getting paid $250,000 a year, $250,000 a week, $100,000 a week, whatever they're getting paid a lot more than I get paid in a year. How is it that I recognise that? How is it there's bare Tottenham fans that recognise that, but you lot don't? But I'm supposed to sit here week in, week out. I got people telling me, keep the faith. What do you mean, keep the faith? This ain't religion. I can see what's happening. I've been saying it since January and been ridiculed by everybody that I say it to. But these are the sort of people, in life, people don't take accountability. Everybody that's watched my videos, that's been on podcasts with me, been on the phone to me, that telling me Tottenham ain't getting relegated. Why are you not messaging me now saying, Jacob, you were right? Why? We live in a society where they don't take accountability. If roles were reversed, I'd ring you right now and say, you know what, bro? You know what, sis? You know what, mate? You were right. But we live in a world where everybody can't see what's going on. People are blind, but they can see. I can see, but I ain't blind. I need glasses. I wear glasses. But I can see stuff. And there's people out there that got the perfect eyes. But trying to tell me that Tottenham are going to stay up. We ain't going to stay up. Everybody's, Tottenham fans have probably got hope because it's mathematical. But if this was, my thing to say to any Tottenham fan, yeah? If this was any other team, put it this way, if this was Arsenal, in the same situation and Tottenham fans were looking like they were going to win the league or we're going to get top four, or better yet, we're just above Arsenal, because that's how low our standards have dropped over the last God knows how long. You know, we get hyped over Arsenal because we finish above them. But if Arsenal were in our position, we're in Arsenal's, we would comfortably say Arsenal are definitely going down. There'd be Tottenham fans that would be going out for a few beers tonight, and they'd be more gassed about the fact that Arsenal could be relegated than the fact that they could go to Man City tomorrow and potentially win the league. Because it's so obvious that it's going to happen. But when the ball's in our court, no. We ain't gonna go down. We're too good to go down. Like I keep saying to people, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Leeds, these are clubs that are in our remit. Yeah, these are clubs that everybody would look at, you know, in terms of the size of the fan base, in terms of what their aspirations are, in terms of trying to get into Champions League and, you know, just keep competing with the elite teams like United, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal even. We're that level above, but these are all teams that have all got relegated before. And has it been good for them? Yes. Aston Villa went down. It was good for them. They got rid of Grealish and they all wanted to keep him, but was it good for them? Of course. They got to the point where they bought Gerrard in after they got promoted. Didn't work. They brought in Unai Emery and the rest is history. You know, you're looking at them now, they're probably going to win the Europa League and finish in the Champions League. So regardless of what you want to do, they're going to be in the Champions League. But when I'm looking at other teams in the Premier League, you're looking at who we're competing with. Nottingham Forest. They're in the semi-final of the Europa League. They're going to get that comeuppance. They're going to beat Burnley tomorrow. Nottingham Forest could win the Europa League and be in the Champions League, just like we did. But will Nottingham Forest get it wrong? No, they won't. They'll be in the Champions League, enjoy it, and still stay in the Premier League. What did we do? We won the Europa League, and instead of bouncing from it, we failed miserably. Look at United. United lost that final, and they're doing what we thought we were going to do. But we've got a corrupt top tier of ownership, and they're just taking a piss out of us. How is it that you got someone that failed at Arsenal and Aston Villa and brought them in and gave them a job? You're taking a piss out of us. If you generally think that they brought them in because they thought they were going to do a good job, understand that them guys were brought in because Daniel Levy has got such an ego. He's like, all right, cool. You got a problem with me? What I'm going to do purposefully is bring in a couple of fools that failed at our rivals. And then when they fail, which they definitely will, because we're not going to give them the money, and I'm still going to be running things in the background, you're going to be like, oh, we wish you have Daniel back. Loads of Tottenham fans are sitting there going, oh, you know, Daniel Levy didn't do much of a bad job. Daniel Levy's manipulating you. But you think Daniel Levy ain't in the background still doing things in his club? Come on, man. What he's done is he's employed people that he knows that are going to fail. And if they're not going to fail, he's set them up to fail. He set them up to fail purposefully, so then Tottenham fans grovel. We're going to go to the Championship, and everyone thinks, oh, that's karma on the board. It ain't karma. That means you got your Xavi Simons, you got your Romeros, you got your Van der Vens on $250,000 a week. All of a sudden, they ain't got to pay those wages. They're going to go and get Championship players that are getting paid 50 grand a week. When they want to go and get the best player in the Championship, it's going to cost them $4 million. You think the owners are bothered about that? They're gassed. They don't need the money from the Champions League and the Europa League anymore. They don't need it. We've got F1, we've got Beyonce. Tyson Fury's coming up. You know, they'll probably win a tender to go and get Tyson Fury, AJ. They don't need the money from football anymore. And if they can pay the players that we inverted need, we've already seen what they're doing in the Premier League. We know that there's a certain player that wants to come to Tottenham and we go, nah. We could go and get Bruno Fernandes. Nah. We'll get Gelson Fernandes. We can go and get Bastoni. No. You don't need Bastoni. We got Ben Davies. Like, open up your eyes. I'm not talking about Tottenham fans. I'm talking about fans in general. Don't chat shit to me and tell me about Tottenham are going to stay up. Tottenham this, Tottenham that. Like I don't see what's going on. There's a lot of fans that come and tell me stuff about my club. I could tell you more about your club. I can answer questions in a pub quiz better than you. Why? Because I know my football. And obviously there's people out there that know their football better than me. But don't come around there and tell me that Tottenham are going to stay up. For what? Because whenever I say to them, okay, give me a reason to understand how they're going to go up. No one's got answers for me, but they expect me to still listen to him. No. If there's a problem, come to me with a solution. Nobody's coming to me with solutions, so it's a problem. And if the problem is the problem, we're going down. I've already accustomed myself to say QPR, Lincoln, Millwall, Swansea. I've got people that support these teams and they're saying, yeah, Jay, we'll see you next season. And I'm telling them, yeah, I know. They're trying to get a reaction out of me, but I'm like, yeah, sweet. Get me a ticket, man. I'll sit in your end. Why? Because I'm not giving my club any money. If I got to go Swansea away, Wolves away, I ain't give Tottenham no money in years. I've watched Tottenham at Wolves. I've watched Tottenham at Newcastle. I've watched Tottenham at other places. I am not watching them at my stadium because I'm not giving these crooks money. Because I see what it is. And it's going to get to the point where we're in the Championship, or better let League One, when everybody starts to recognise what I'm seeing. But right now, I'm cool. I've always been that guy in society. Whether I've been at school, college, work, I've always been the one that everyone goes, oh, you know what, he's a bit of a But then give it a couple of months or a couple of years, I've always been the one that goes, yeah, do you see what I'm saying now then? Do you get what I'm saying? And no one will ever come up to me and go, oh yeah, Jake, you know what, sorry. I see where you're coming from. One or two people, but generally they won't. So, you know, if you follow me properly, watch this video, understand what I'm saying, and comment. If you think that Tottenham are going to stay up, give me some hope. If you can't, just like it, share it, subscribe to my channel, keep your mouth shut, and we'll see you next year, QPR. Piss off, Tottenham.